What's going on, everybody? Today we are voting for Game of the Year. That's right, the polls are out. We can finally just take a look at this. What a great year this has been for games and gaming and video games in general. All us nerds I've been eating good, this whole year. So I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna vote and see what we can do. So first up, let's see, Game of the Year. This is just the big one, right? I think that's the one everyone mostly cares about. So, let's see. Game of the Year, recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. What a weird way to phrase it. Alan Wake, Remedy Entertainment, Epic Games Publishing. Okay. Alan Wake 2. I think I've seen people talk about this one. I've definitely heard about it. I don't know if I think I've seen it. I've definitely seen it. I can say that for sure. I don't know if that'll be if that count. I guess I can't vote for it unless unless you play it, right? But I think I've seen it. Like I've had to have at least seen the game. It's had to have come across my radar, especially considering it's Game of the Year where these are like. I've probably seen it. Like it's Island, I like that looks familiar, like that looks familiar. So it's like, I mean, yeah, yeah. I think though I can't vote for it unless I've played more than like a couple hours of it. I think, right? Is that the rules? I don't know if there are rules for voting. I don't know if does that matter? And how many we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 games for Game of the Year. And Alan Wake 2. I've definitely seen it. Like I've had to. I've seen. Yeah, I've heard about it. I've definitely heard about it. I've heard about it. That's the best. Like, I can say that for sure. That's 100%. I can say I've seen it definitely. Like I can say I've heard about it. I don't know if I've seen it, but like I've heard about it, and like I don't know if I don't know if I've heard about it, but like I've seen it. You know what I mean? Because I've seen it. Like right there, that gives me a lot. It gives you a lot. You're going off a lot with that, but there's not much to go off. Like you can look at the guy, and there's 2 of them. So clearly, there's like at least 2 people in the game, probably. So like, you can. I've heard about. I've definitely seen it, but I don't think I've heard about it. Because that looks familiar. That jacket, like it's definitely something where it's like I've seen it, but I haven't heard about it. You know what I mean? That's definitely. I would. Alan Wake 2, Remedy. That sounds familiar. Remedy Entertainment, Epic Games Publishing. That sounds familiar. So that means that like puts it in my head like, okay, you've definitely seen it. Maybe you haven't heard about it, but you've seen it. But like the red backroom makes it seem like it's like of something I've seen, but I haven't I've seen it, but I haven't heard about it. You know what I mean? Because like it kind of looks like John Wick, and like John Wick, I've seen about, but I haven't heard about him. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know where it would rank in terms of like the commonness, if that's how you phrase it, of like where it is on my radar kind of thing. I would put it up there though. It has, because it's Game of the Year, right? It has to be up there. Otherwise, it's like what's the point? But I mean, because it's the second one, which makes sense because I've heard of the name. Like it's like I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it. You know what I mean? Like I've heard Alan Wake, but I haven't seen it. But it's strange because like the light that comes off of that flashlight, it's like I've seen about it, but I haven't like heard about it. You know what I mean? Like I've seen that before, but I just haven't heard it. Shit. Uh, uh, I'm going Mario.